Okay, hi guys and welcome to the show. Today I'm going to finally be doing my review of the 1545. This is the Squale 200 meter Heritage. Before I get into this, I should do a wristwatch check. Today I am pulling a Schwarzkopf, doing a general Schwarzkopf, so I've got two watches on. I have some urgent appointments which I've got to do later on today, so I've got 3 of my 5 alarms set for reminders to handle my business. So we'll do the review slightly differently today. We'll start off with a closer look, a macro shot, closer look at the Heritage, so you guys can get an overall look at it close up and a feel of the watch, its size and all the specifications. And then we'll cut back to me just talking a little bit more openly about the watch itself, because it has become quite a favorite and I just want to give my thoughts on it. So anyway, let's get on with the show. Okay guys, and here we are having a closer look at my Squale 200 meter Heritage Swiss automatic dive watch with sapphire glass. Now before we get into this, I just want to show you what you get with the watch. You get this beautiful dark, really dark navy blue case. It's leather navy blue case with beautiful kind of navy stitching there. You get the warranty card, a manual, and of course the watch comes in this little pouch area here. So it's really nifty little carry case, and to be honest I much prefer it than the large previous boxes. I know the blue of the previous boxes were really nice, beautiful color blue, but this is just really cool just to, you know, to transport watches, and it's a bit lighter and easier to store, and I really love these leather pouches. Beautifully embossed Squale there and also on the inside. Now it's worthy to point out, I'll start with the bracelet, because when I first got this watch, I wore it with the bracelet pretty much all the time, and as you see there's a little bit of wear on it, but this bracelet, and I've taken the extra links out, is a really nice, solidly constructed bracelet. The clasp is very solid, very nicely done. I do apologize, it is a bit dirty, it has seen quite a bit of action. Very well constructed, very solid. Now this is pretty much the same on all the 1545s. Really cool little diver extension, deploys very easily, very solid clip. You've got micro adjustments here. Fantastic diver extension. Just really performs and does its job very well, very well. Of course the Squale shark there. And it's worthy to point out that the solid links are beautifully done. Really solid, hefty feel to the bracelet. Very solid, hardly any kind of movement there, which just indicates the high level of quality here. What I'd also like to point out is they are little screws, they're not little pins, and this is one of the most easiest bracelets I've ever experienced to change by myself. It's just really easy. I mean, it took literally a couple of minutes just to size this perfectly to me. I've been wearing it most of the last part of the summer on an NATO strap, and this is, in my view, the best combination to suit this very particular color scheme. So let's look at the watch itself. The first thing you'll notice is this kind of root beer brownie gold bezel here, and the action to it is phenomenal. It's a bit hard to do with the gloves on, I do apologize. But it really is a solid, fantastically well made bezel that easily compares, in my opinion, to divers that cost 3, 4, 5 times as much. It is a 316L stainless steel case with a screw down back. We'll just have a quick peek at the back. We have this octagonal screw down case back. Beautifully signed there. It has seen a lot of action, so there is a few scratches. I do apologize, but it's a watch that really deserves to be worn, and in my opinion kind of looks a little bit better when it's a little battered up. But anyway, and inside we have the ETA, or the ETA 2824-2 movement. Looking at a bit more detail, the case is very simple, doesn't stray from you know, traditional kind of Submariner style casing. We have high polish on the side, and then a little bit of matted brushed finish on the top of the lugs. It's very simple, beautiful crown guards that just, you know, don't jut out too far. And probably one of my favorite features, you can see little scratches there, probably one of my favorite features is the crown. You've got the Von Buren logo on the crown, but this crown, if we just pop it out a second, it's really well done. It's a nice size, a little bit bigger than what you'd expect for this scale of watch, but pops out very nicely, and it just, the action to it is really silky smooth, very nice. Much better than a lot of ETA watches with this movement I've seen at this price range. And if we just move the hand slightly so we can see the logos there, it is obviously hackable. It just screws in effortlessly, very nicely indeed. So it is 200 meters water resistant, as you see on the dial. If we look closely on the dial, I do apologize about all the dust. We have Swiss made at the bottom. Then we have these little framed loom markers. The color that's been chosen to frame them is the same as the text, and it's all in keeping. It's very subtly done. We have the Squale logo at the top, obviously. Very subtly done. I like the choice of colors because it adds a kind of richness to it, and it's just in keeping with the whole color scheme. It's very particular. And then we have the gold tone gilt hands that, as you can see, sorry about the dust. The loom, if you want to see a loom shot, I have done this, featured this watch on a previous video. Just have a look in the archives and you'll see it. So the gold kind of tone of the lettering matches the gold of the lettering on the bezel, and then we have this matte black dial, which just gives it kind of, I just really love the color scheme of it. For me, it's a huge success, and I never thought in a million years I'd like a watch with this kind of browny gold bezel, but it just works for me, and I just don't know why. It has a kind of, to me, it just has this kind of classy appearance. Just this, it's rather understated, but at the same time, that little pop of color, just it's a nice change. It's I really do like the design of the Heritage. Obviously, obviously we are in homage territory here, but I think it's just that bit individual enough to kind of stand out and be something a little bit different. It's a very kind of almost burgundy brown. So obviously we got the date at the 3 o'clock position, and I'll just quickly give you the measurements. We have a diameter of 40 millimeters, a thickness of 12 millimeters, lug to lug I would say that's 47 millimeters, and then of course, we got a 20 millimeter lug width there. So a really nice traditional size. It's not oversized like a lot of the homages out there. It really plays faithful to the scale of like the original Submariners, and I love that. It just fits me like a glove. Just do a quick wrist shot for you. So here we have a quick wrist shot for you. Now of course, because of the little gold accents in the bezel and in the details on the dial and the gilt hands, it goes very well with gold jewelry, even if there are steel parts. I love my onyx bead with little gold, little solid gold accents on it, and my signet ring, of course. I think it goes really well. Obviously, and I forgot to mention, there is obviously the Cyclops at the 3 o'clock, and there is a little loom pip at the 12 o'clock on the bezel that I neglected to mention. But anyway, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go back to the studio now, so you've had a closer look, so we can just discuss this watch a little bit more, in a little bit more detail. Okay guys. Okay, welcome back guys. Now as I said, I wanted to kind of give a few of my thoughts about this watch. This watch has become rather special to me because I had it with me during my hospital stay. And first of all, I mean, if you're going to take a watch to hospital, make sure it's a diver, because you're going to get blood and sweat and tears all over it. So you want something that you can just wash the blood off. And of course, I was wearing it, and I think I pulled too hard on the IV. The little thing popped out my arm, and the blood was going everywhere. So a bit like a cartoon. So in those situations, a diver watch is what you need. But you know, you just wash it off. So this watch has literally bled with me, has literally been baptized in blood. So without that with that being said, it's become kind of special, and I just adore its size. There are some things that I don't like about it. Now, I bought this. This is a really nice German-made. This is I think this is a Fluco. This is made by Fluco. Now, if you see, it's a beautiful leather Zulu strap. Really, really nice. And I was so looking forward to wearing it with this. I thought it would really go with its kind of brown aesthetic. But the way the spring bars are done, it's too thick. It can only just about take a nylon. I have got some pearl-on straps, and I'm going to be doing a special video on NATO straps and pearl-on straps very, very soon, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, it is a little sad that I got this strap, but I mean, it doesn't matter. I think actually this might go really well with the Speedmaster, even the Submariner, so that is a shame. So that is one negative, is the spring bars are a little bit too close. They're closer to the case rather than the outer side of the lug, so it doesn't take big straps, which is a bit of a shame. But so that's one negative. The other negative is obviously the Submariner homage, the whole issue, and I'm not going to discuss it because it's obvious that some people just can't handle that discussion. So, you know, personally, I did a wristwatch talking about my views about homage watches, and fundamentally, you know, it's got to do with you, the buyer and the wearer of the watch. If you like it, makes you happy, and you want it, go for it. I don't have any problem with homage watches. In fact, I think someone even pointed out, isn't Tudor a homage of Rolex? You know, so companies even do homages of their own watch. I mean, isn't a reissue kind of like a homage anyway? So at the end of the day, I get a lot of fun with this. And of course, you know, if I could afford it, I'd get a Rollie with a similar color scheme, but I wouldn't have as much fun because I don't worry about this. You know, if I bang it, I drop it, you know, I wear it really as a beta watch. So I just don't worry about it. I know the ETA is robust and could take a little bit of a beating, and you know, I've scratched this watch up, but I don't worry about it because for me, I can afford to replace this. For some people, it might be their best watch, and if it is your best watch, you know, I can respect that because it is worthy. It is a really beautiful watch. It's very well made. I adore the quality of it. Also the fit, because it's a little bit small at 40 millimeters. I think it's a little bit more understated, a little bit more of it's more elegant to have a watch that's slightly bit smaller than something oversized. I mean, I know the trend is going back to smaller watches, but look, size is all relative. If a 42mm watch looks tiny on you, then that's fine. 42 is made for you. But what I don't like, what I think is kind of bad form, is people that have skinny wrists like me, and then they wear these huge things that go over the actual width of their wrist. I think that's a little bit bad form and kind of looks a bit tacky. So the fit is very good for me. It's perfect. It actually wears smaller than my Submariner. The Submariner, my ceramic, is a little bit more chunky. And I like the fact that I got a diver that is kind of like a sub, but at the same time I'm still got that Squale Heritage, so I'm very proud to wear it. The one thing I will say about this watch is the bezel action is absolutely fantastic. It's one of the best bezels I've come across, and I dare to say this. It's actually better than the bezel on the 1521. You know, it is better than the bezel on the 1521. I don't know why, but it just is. I think it's something to do with this more classic case. They really have done it very, very well. What other criticisms? Sometimes in certain light you can't actually read the name on the dial, but I kind of like that. It's even more understated. Some people might have an issue with that. The only other negative I can think of doesn't always go with all the straps. For example, Submariner, Speedmaster, they just go with everything, you know, pretty much everything. This you have to be a little bit more particular with, but I have found that a grey NATO like this just looks killer. Just looks absolutely killer on it. I think it's a good combination. Anyway, I'm very happy with it. But you know, for example, you know, it might not go with the orange. I don't know. I might try it today actually. Definitely not the blue. Definitely not the blue. Then I have this Japanese SWAT team. This one that actually I got from Japan. This is a Japanese SWAT camouflage. It's not gonna go. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I think it's a little bit too much. You know, with something this color, with the color already kind of quite bright and you know, with a color that pops like this burgundy brown. I think you gotta dress it down a bit. So the strap options is a little bit less, but it's not a huge downfall. You know, those are really the only two negatives I can possibly think of. There are a lot of pros about this watch. I love the crown, the action to it. It's a larger crown than you'll find on most 40mm watches of this size. So gripping it, the action to it is very comfortable to use. I just love the gilt hands. I think it's just thing is, I'm not into gold, really gold tone, but because it's done so subtly, I adore it. Probably the only other negative is the 1545 has not the best lume in the world. It is not the best. It works very, very well. And sometimes when I'm, you know, I'll admit to it, guys, I actually sleep with my watch on because I tend to wake up and it's easier, and I just like to check the time. But I do sleep with the watch on. But compared to other watches, the lume doesn't stay as long. But you know, the pros definitely outweigh the negatives. Let's just kind of sum up the pros. I love the color. I never thought I would, but I do. I love the size. I love the movement. Come to know this movement very, very well. I know how it behaves. I know how it winds. The quality of it, the finishing, impeccable. One of the best bracelets, even though I'm not actually wearing it, but one of the best bracelets. Very easy to change the size. The clasp is fantastic. I love the diver extension. Very easy, quick to use. Micro adjustment, of course. So really, there are more pros than negatives, but it's like with anything. That no watch is perfect, but I'm willing to put up with its little kind of, you know, annoyances, like it not being able to take a thicker NATO Zulu strap. I'm willing to take those things because it has an X factor about it that I just adore, and I really do think the contrast between the black dial and this burgundy brown and little flashes of gold just are pure class. Really is pure class. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very, very much for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and found it useful, and I'll definitely catch you in the next one. Okay, ciao.